spot.
Wayne Carpenter's in for Tim Johnson on 2nd and 10. And Ray guns over the middle, and he's got the completion this time to Fred Stamps. Another Eskimo first down to the Calgary 43.
Well, Ray is now locking in to Stamps as he comes and is gonna run that dig route again. And the dig route is when you go down about 12, 15 yards down the field and then just dig it across the middle and try and find the opening. And that was right in front of the safety, Wes Lysak, who had backed off to respect the speed of Fred Stamps.
16 for Stamps. They only had 3 pass plays over 10 yards last week. And here's Whitlock or McCarty, check that. Calvin McCarty, the ball carrier, down to the 36.
Well, Fred Stamps is trying to make his mark once again, and here are the 2 receivers we've got our eyes on for this game tonight. And here's how they've done against each other. 21 catches for Copeland, 13 for Stamps. Good numbers there for Jermaine Copeland. 5 touchdowns, and Stamps, boy, they have tremendous mutual respect. One a little more experienced than the other.
7 for McCarty. It's 2nd and 3. And right back to Calvin McCarty, and a first down on the ground as he plows inside the 30.
Yeah, this is the difference maker that Calvin McCarty can be, and we saw his early success early in the year and how Edmonton was a better offense when he was part of it, simply because he gave you the different look. There's his numbers, and they're modest when you consider he's been out for quite a bit of the season. But he comes in one down, and then Whitlock on the next one. It's tough.
And in this case, they're both in as Bertrand's gone to the sidelines. They go 2 back. McCarty, a good receiver, and Whitlock's got it over the backfield. Down to the 20-yard line, close to another Edmonton first down.
Yeah, well, let's take a look, Chris, how you can use both backs in the backfield. Narkey Whitlock is one right there, and McCarty is over here. Now, McCarty's going to just run the screen like this, and then they got 2 out. So basically, they can use both backs as receivers. One comes across the formation, is a shovel pass option, and Narkey Whitlock, that little throw out into the flat. So that's a double threat for the Edmonton offense.
2nd and less than a yard. And again, Ray plunging ahead on short yardage.
You know, the Calgary Stampeders, they talked yesterday about the importance of making a run and how they feel like they have an opportunity here to go ahead and take command of the season, but they're going to have to start playing better on the defensive side of the ball. Gave up 44 points last week. I know that game went to overtime. John Huffnagel told me yesterday they had times to win the game on defense and didn't. So Chris Jones is dealing with different personnel, but he has to get this defense going.
And in the last 2 games, they've surrendered 76 points and 965 yards. First down, Ray rolls. Lots of time. We'll just take off. Tim Johnson will push him out. He'll be marked out at the 12-yard line. Johnson sensed a chance to really lay a lick on the quarterback, but Ray was able to get out.
You know, sometimes your quarterback just isn't in a position physically to get the ball out. The receiver in this case was the primary target. Again, was Fred Stamps. Covered initially there, but watch how he works to get open. He looks around for that opening sliding, and he is open, but Ricky Ray was not in a position physically to be able to throw the ball when he opened up. He was for a second. Now he opens up. Now he's already made his decision, and he's gone.
So Ray runs for 7, 2nd and 3. 11th play of the drive. Fred Stamps has the catch, but won't have the first down. Dwight Anderson there, and Stamps bubbled back. Forward progress wouldn't have been enough either, and he lost yards trying to get to the first down.
You know, sometimes a receiver gets confident and they start to think that they can make that big play on every play. If Stamps, when he catches this ball right here, turns, he gets the first down. But what he does is bubble back, tries to make a bigger play out of it, and when he does, he loses first down territory. You can't fault the receiver for that. You know he wants to make the big play, but if he takes that, lowers his shoulder, he probably gets it.
You're right, where he actually caught the football, forward progress would have been enough. But instead, Prefontaine has to come on, an 18-yard boot. And the Edmonton Eskimos strike first at McMahon.
Dave Dickinson is the running back coach for the Calgary Stampeders, and I had a good conversation with Joffrey Reynolds yesterday in the walkthrough. Reynolds explaining to me that he feels like his pass protection and his blocking out of the backfield has improved tremendously this year. And I kind of was surprised by the comment in that Reynolds is one of the best in the league and has been for years. He said, Dave Dickinson, because of him being a former quarterback, boy, he is on you, knowing every single assignment.
Prefontaine boots it downfield, and here's Summers. And Summers bounced off first contact and gets knocked out of bounds.
Chris, we have a couple of very good returners in this game. Demetrius Summers is one of them on the kickoff returns. He has the highest average in the league in that department. And then, of course, Tristan Jackson and with the Edmonton Eskimos on those punt returns can be so dangerous. So possibility where the teams could be a difference maker in this one tonight.
Summers 26.2 average, and he got some yards after the first contact. Mo Lloyd was jumping around in frustration after not being able to bring Summers down initially. Burris pumps and then dumps it off, and Joffrey Reynolds has the football up to the 45. It's a first down, and with that catch, he now has more yards from scrimmage this season than all of last year.
Yeah, and he really couldn't say enough about the influence of Dave Dickinson on plays like this, where he has to come out of the backfield right here. He has to check for blitzers, do the fake, no blitzers, and then just sit down in the open area. That takes tremendous amount of video study, lots of hours in the classroom, and lots of instruction from your coach. Dave Dickinson's been a big help.
30th catch, and now Summers in the backfield, and Summers tossed down at the 52-yard line as he spells Joffrey Reynolds and picks up 7 on his first carry of the night.
Interesting at this time of year how both these teams are really settling in to running the football, whether it be Joffrey Reynolds, Demetrius Summers on the other side, R.Q. Whitlock, and Calvin McCarty. They have been the story in the first quarter, and you know, these offensive coordinators, George Cortez understands this time of year, you got to pound it.
2nd and 3. Pressure on. Burris downfield, and Robbie Bryant's got that. Great catch by Bryant. And he is becoming a bigger impact in this Calgary offense.
Well, Burris talked about that familiarity where he can now know when Robbie Bryant is going to make his break, can tell by his body language where to put the football to give him the best opportunity. Bryant does a nice job there of dragging that back leg and keeping that left foot in bounds as he goes down. What a shot and what a catch.
Had 6 for 118 against the Alouettes. That was his breakout game with his new team. And now a first down at the Edmonton 35. 4-man rush and pressure, and Burris just throws it away, incomplete. Summers was in the area, and so it will not be grounding. Good pressure up the middle on the final play of the opening quarter. Eskimos.
Those little swing passes to Joffrey Reynolds.
Had 88 points the last time we were here at McMahon, 3 in the first quarter, but it looks like both teams are having some success moving the football.
They are, but it looks like they want to do that ball control, win the time of possession. These are two very good quarterbacks, and Henry Burris told me yesterday that if you give the ball to Ricky Ray in too many opportunities, he will put up tons of points on the board. He feels like that's one of the most important competitions and stats to win, time of possession.
2nd and 10, and here come the Eskimos a little too aggressively, and Mo Lloyd crossed the line of scrimmage.
Maurice Lloyd said that game in Toronto, and I watched that game as well, felt, I agreed with him, is maybe his best.
Edmonton, number 47, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
And the former middle linebacker.
I say give him a helmet, and I don't think you'd have to give him anything else, just the helmet and nothing else, and put him out there.
Yeah, especially at McMahon.
Oh boy.
So it's 2nd and 5 now. And Burris over the middle, R.J. Franklin the catch. Brought down by Mark Rostelli, but the Stamps now have a drive being put together.
Edmonton Eskimos went with a little blitz there, some pressure, and R.J. Franklin recognized it quickly and went over the middle, right where Maurice Lloyd had left. Maurice Lloyd went on that offside when he was called there, really declared what he was going to do, and the Edmonton Eskimos did not change their defensive call. Maurice Lloyd went again, and Franklin saw it and went over the middle.
Fourth catch for Franklin since joining the Stampeders. It's a 9-yard gain and a first down. Burris, pressure again. Schultze talked about it before the game, and they get to the quarterback, and that's the former Calgary Stampeder, Justin Brown. Started the year, first 2 games with Calgary, was let go. He's in the lineup today because Eric Taylor came down sick yesterday, and so Brown gets the chance.
Well, he gets a chance, and he's taking full advantage of that opportunity with Eric Taylor getting the flu bug and was trying to convince the coaching staff that he could go, but Justin Brown gets up, and you're right. You get pressure with 4, you've got a chance defensively.
Loss of 8. Eric Taylor, by the way, he was trying to work the coaches. Oh, Jeff Pilon came out of his stance quickly, and that'll be a procedure call against Calgary. You can declare your roster up to an hour before the game, and about 90 minutes before the game, Eric Taylor had his equipment on, hoping to change the coach's mind.
Procedure. Calgary, numbers 64 and 65. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
So both tackles move prematurely. Pilon and Archibald.
I would love to have tracked over time how many times an offensive lineman goes off sides after a sack.
Telling us they're going to make sure that doesn't happen the next time. Here comes pressure again.
Boy.
And Henry Burris is dropped back at the 45-yard line. Kai Ellis this time, and he has his 6th sack of the year and his 2nd against the Calgary Stampeders.
And he comes off the edge on Jeff Pilon, and it's one-on-one with Kai Ellis and Jeff Pilon to the left of your screen right here, and there's Pilon there. And this is just one-on-one, and watch how he drives for that upfield shoulder and then just pushes Pilon back and grabs him with his left hand. That's tremendous power from Kai Ellis, been really the most consistent D lineman for the Edmonton Eskimos all year long.
Loss of 9 that time. 3rd and 33, so Dales to punt. The Eskimos hoping that does bounce into the end zone, and they will give up the single point. So the Stampeders have their first point of the game won. Burke Dales would probably like back.
Clock chipping away at 1,000-yard season. These teams establish the run.
15 yards away. Play action, and Ricky Ray drills it downfield and has Maurice Mann. First catch of the night for Mann, 70 of the season. He's in the top 10 in receiving.
Maurice Mann's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. Should get his 1,000 yards, and when I talk to the defensive backs, the corners in the league feel like he may be the best wide receiver. He and Kenyon Rambo, when he's healthy, in the CFL, but last game versus Calgary had just 1 catch.
Kevin